Right now, your gut bacteria might not be getting what they actually need. And when that happens, things inside your body start to shift in ways you can feel, even if you don't realize where it's coming from. When your internal ecosystem isn't properly nourished, the beneficial bacteria that are supposed to help break down food and protect your gut lining don't function at their best. Over time, this can weaken your intestinal barrier and throw your digestion off balance. And that's often when the symptoms show up. That stubborn bloating that makes your clothes feel tighter than they should. The brain fog that makes simple tasks feel harder than usual. The energy crash at 3 p.m. that feels like you barely slept the night before. It's not random. It's your gut asking for support. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 5 science-backed natural strategies to rebalance your gut bacteria, strengthen your gut lining, and restore the digestive support system your body relies on every single day. When your gut is working with you instead of against you, everything feels different. Your energy, your focus, even your mood. Let's fix this from the inside out. Let's begin with something most people have never heard of, yet it may be one of the most important systems for your digestive health, the Migrating Motor Complex, or MMC. We often imagine digestion as a simple conveyor belt. Food goes in, moves through, and exits. But your small intestine actually operates in 2 distinct modes, eating mode and cleaning mode. When you're eating, your gut is focused on breaking down food and absorbing nutrients. During this time, deep cleaning cannot occur. That cleaning only begins once digestion is fully complete, and this is where the MMC plays its role. Think of it as your gut's internal street sweeper, a powerful wave of movement that travels through the small intestine, pushing leftover food particles, bacteria, and debris down into the colon where they belong. However, this cleaning system only activates when your stomach is empty. It typically requires about 90 minutes to 2 hours of no food before the MMC even begins its cycle. And once it starts, the cleaning process takes another 90 minutes to complete. The moment you consume anything with calories, even a small snack or a healthy drink, the cleaning stops immediately and your body switches back into eating mode. In today's world of constant grazing, breakfast, snacks, coffee, lunch, more snacks, dinner, and late-night bites, many people never give their gut the uninterrupted time it needs to run this essential cleaning cycle. When the MMC doesn't get a chance to work, bacteria can linger in the small intestine longer than they should. This stagnation can lead to fermentation, bloating, gas, and in some cases, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, or SIBO. In simple terms, the waste builds up because the cleanup crew never gets a shift. The solution isn't found in a supplement or a detox product. It's found in creating space between meals. Allowing 4 to 5 hours between meals without snacking gives your body the opportunity to complete this natural cleansing wave. And interestingly, when your stomach growls and you're not truly hungry, that sound is often the MMC doing its job. Sometimes the most effective way to support your gut is simply to close the kitchen between meals and let your body take care of itself. Second, think of your gut as a garden ecosystem. Once you understand that your digestive system needs time to clean itself, the next step is looking at who actually lives there. You are home to trillions of bacteria. For years, we were taught to see bacteria as enemies. Now we understand that many of them are more like the soil in a garden. If the soil is dry and depleted, nothing healthy grows. But when the soil is rich and nourished, everything flourishes. One of the biggest mistakes people make is trying to fix their gut by taking a generic probiotic capsule and hoping for a miracle. But adding a few strains of bacteria without improving the environment is like tossing seeds onto concrete. If the soil isn't healthy, nothing will take root. The most powerful way to improve that environment is through diversity, specifically plant diversity. In one fascinating study, researchers temporarily swapped the diets of rural South Africans and African Americans. The rural diet was high in fiber and low in fat, while the typical American diet was much lower in fiber and higher in fat. Within just 2 weeks, the group eating the high-fiber rural diet experienced a significant reduction in markers of inflammation. Why?
Because fiber is the primary fuel source for beneficial gut bacteria. When you eat plant fibers, they travel down to the colon where your good bacteria ferment them. This fermentation process produces short-chain fatty acids and other compounds that reduce inflammation, strengthen the gut lining, and support overall health. But here's the important detail. Different bacteria prefer different types of fiber. Some thrive on the fibers in onions and garlic. Others prefer what's found in walnuts, raspberries, lentils, or seeds.
Large research efforts like the American Gut Project have found that one of the strongest predictors of a healthy microbiome isn't how much you eat, it's how many different plant species you eat. The suggested sweet spot was around 30 different plants per week. That number may sound overwhelming at first, but it includes herbs, spices, nuts, seeds, legumes, fruits, and vegetables. It's about the variety across your week, not the size of a single meal. If you eat a large bowl of broccoli every day, you're mainly feeding the bacteria that specialize in breaking down broccoli. But if you rotate in carrots, leafy greens, beans, pumpkin seeds, berries, herbs, and whole grains, you nourish a much wider range of beneficial microbes. And when your internal garden is diverse and thriving, it naturally crowds out the weeds, the harmful bacteria that contribute to bloating, inflammation, and imbalance. Now let's talk about mechanism number 3, timing. We spend so much energy thinking about what to eat that we rarely pause to consider when to eat. But your digestion runs on a rhythm, just like your brain follows a sleep-wake cycle. It's not a factory operating at full speed around the clock. It has peak hours and slower ones. Research shows that your body handles food more efficiently earlier in the day. In the morning and afternoon, insulin sensitivity is higher and digestive enzymes are more active. As the evening progresses, that efficiency naturally declines. Imagine it like a workplace with 2 shifts. The day shift is fully staffed, alert, and productive. The night shift? Just a small crew doing the bare minimum to keep things running. So when you eat a heavy meal late at night, say around 9 p.m., you're asking that skeleton crew to handle a massive workload. Food tends to sit in the stomach longer. Blood sugar remains elevated for longer periods. That combination increases the likelihood of fat storage and inflammation. And because digestion requires significant energy, your body may struggle to fully shift into deep sleep and cellular repair mode. There's also a powerful connection between your gut and your sleep cycle. Certain gut bacteria play a role in producing neurotransmitters like serotonin and melatonin, which regulate mood and sleep. When you consistently eat late at night, you disrupt not only your metabolic rhythm, but also the rhythm of your microbiome. Poor sleep can increase sugar cravings the next day, which further disrupts gut balance, and the cycle continues. One simple way to interrupt this pattern is through time-restricted eating. This isn't about extreme dieting or depriving yourself. It's about giving your metabolism structured rest. Try keeping your meals within a 10 to 12-hour window, for example, eating between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. This approach aligns your food intake with your body's most active hours and allows your digestive system to power down at night. It gives your gut lining time to repair without competing with ongoing digestion. In a very real sense, it tells your body, now it's time to restore, not process. Now let's move to mechanism number 4. And this one has less to do with food and more to do with your body's wiring. You can eat a beautifully diverse diet. You can space your meals perfectly. But if this one connection isn't functioning well, digestion can still struggle. That connection is the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve is the communication highway between your brain and your gut. It constantly carries signals back and forth. But here's the important part. The direction and quality of that communication depend heavily on your stress level. Your nervous system operates in 2 main modes. One is fight or flight, your stress response. The other is rest and digest, your recovery mode. You can't fully be in both at the same time. If your body senses danger, whether that's running from a real threat or just feeling overwhelmed by emails, deadlines, or bad news, it prioritizes survival. Blood flow is redirected away from the gut and toward your muscles. Stress hormones rise.
digestion becomes secondary, because, biologically speaking, digesting lunch doesn't matter if you're trying to stay alive.
So if you're eating while anxious, rushing, arguing, or scrolling through stressful content, your body may not be fully prepared to digest. Stomach acid production can decrease, gut motility can slow down, food lingers longer than it should, which can contribute to gas, bloating, and discomfort. This is why digestion actually begins in the brain, not the mouth. Before your body can properly break down food, it needs a signal that you're safe. Many long-living cultures treat meals as slow, calm experiences. That isn't just cultural tradition, it's biology. A relaxed state literally turns digestion back on. One of the simplest ways to activate this shift is through your breath. Before you take your first bite, pause and take 3 slow, deep breaths. Let your exhale be longer than your inhale. That longer exhale gently stimulates the vagus nerve and tells your nervous system we're safe. In response, your body redirects energy back to the gut and prepares it to do its job. It takes less than 30 seconds, but it can completely change how your body processes your meal. Fifth, we need to talk about what we're unknowingly adding to our bodies that may be working against us. Most gut advice focuses on addition, more greens, more probiotics, more supplements. But in biology, sometimes removing the problem is even more powerful than adding a solution. Our modern environment exposes us to substances that can disrupt the delicate balance of the microbiome. Antibiotics are a clear example. They are life-saving when truly needed, and in emergencies, they're nothing short of remarkable.
But when used unnecessarily, for minor viral illnesses or consumed indirectly through conventionally raised animal products, they can act like a wildfire in the gut. They don't just eliminate harmful bacteria, they also wipe out beneficial species, and rebuilding that diversity can take months. Beyond medications, there's also the issue of environmental toxins, particularly pesticide residues on food. Many crops are treated with chemicals designed to kill insects and weeds. While regulatory systems aim to keep exposure within safe limits, chronic low-level intake may still influence the balance of gut bacteria. Over time, that repeated exposure can make it harder for your internal ecosystem to stay resilient. Even drinking water plays a role. Municipal tap water is often chlorinated to prevent harmful bacterial growth in pipes, which is important for public health. But regular consumption of chlorinated water may also affect microbial balance in subtle ways. This doesn't mean you need to panic, it simply means awareness matters. The strategy here is protective, not extreme. When possible, prioritize organic options for produce known to carry higher pesticide residues, such as strawberries, spinach, and grapes. Wash fruits and vegetables thoroughly. Consider using a basic water filter to reduce chlorine in your drinking water. The goal isn't perfection, it's reducing the constant background stress on your internal ecosystem so the other supportive habits you're building can actually work. When you zoom out, all of this comes together into a simple philosophy. Think of your body like a home. You can't keep it clean if you're constantly tracking in dirt, never giving the cleaning crew time to work, and short-circuiting the electrical system. True repair doesn't require a trendy detox drink. It requires respecting how the system is designed to function. Give your internal street sweeper space by allowing 4 to 5 hours between meals. Nourish the soil by eating a wide variety of plant foods each week. Align with your body's clock by avoiding late-night meals. Calm the wiring by breathing and relaxing before you eat, and reduce the daily chemical load so your gut isn't constantly under attack. The encouraging part is this: your gut is remarkably resilient. The cells lining your intestines renew themselves every few days. Change doesn't require years, it starts with consistent daily choices. Most people wait until symptoms become unbearable before paying attention, but the real power is in prevention, in the quiet decisions no one else sees. Waiting a little longer between meals, choosing variety over convenience, taking 3 slow breaths before lunch. These small actions compound. They build resilience, and over time, they don't just support a longer life, they support a life that feels clearer, lighter, and more energized. If this helped you see your gut health differently, stay curious. There's so much more to explore about how these systems connect to your overall well-being. And I genuinely love to know which of these 5 areas feels like your biggest opportunity right now.